Okay, I think we'll get started. I think people are just going to keep trickling in as they trickle in. So again, thank you to everyone who is here with us. Welcome. We're so excited to have you here as you learn a little bit more about Western as you hopefully are getting ready to start your Western journey. Um, so for those of you who just joined us, and to all of you, I guess, since we haven't done this before yet, my name is Nick and my pronouns are he and him.
And hi everyone, my name's Jill. My pronouns are she, her. And tonight, Nick and I are going to be guiding you through our session tonight.
Right. To begin, I'd like to say a few important words. So, as treaty people, we are grateful to be able to live, work, and play on this land. Western's campus is located on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabeg, Haudenosaunee, the Napeewak, and Chinook nations. These lands are connected to the London Township and Sombre Treaties of 1796 and the Dish with One Spoon Covenant Wampum. We respect the longstanding relationship Indigenous nations have to this land, and they are the original caretakers. At Western, we acknowledge historical and ongoing injustices First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people endure in Canada, and we accept responsibility as a public institution to contribute to truth and reconciliation, which includes revealing and correcting miseducation as well as renewing respectful relationships with Indigenous communities through our teaching, research, and community service. So thank you all for being here.
Okay, so now let's go through a few housekeeping items before we begin. First and foremost, this session is being recorded and it will be available on our website in a few days. So if you miss something, it's all good. You can watch it again. You'll be able to find it on the same page that you went to for registration, which was welcome.uwo.ca/presentations. Next up, live closed captioning is enabled during this webinar. So if you'd like to turn it on, you can find the live transcript button on the bottom bar, and then you can choose show subtitle or view full transcript. Just remember though that this is live closed captioning, so we can't quite guarantee the accuracy. Next up, your video audio will remain off for today, but that doesn't mean we won't be interacting together. So feel free to send stuff in the chat.
Definitely. We're also going to have polls throughout the presentation, and we want to answer all of your questions. And if you now or anytime throughout the presentation, you're like thinking, I have a question that I want answered, there's a Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. Enter questions whenever they come up, and someone from Western will type an answer to you, and we'll also answer a few questions live at the end of the presentation. Just one tip about questions, make sure that you are as specific as possible to get the best answer. So that might mean mentioning the program you've applied to or where you're from. So let's get started with a poll.
Yeah, so for this poll, we'd love to know where you're from. Are you coming to us from outside of Canada? Are you from here in London? Are you from somewhere else in the world? Just let us know here. The poll is live, and then we'll share it afterwards. And kind of while we wait, we'll just reintroduce ourselves one more time for those of you who have just joined. So my name's Jill. My pronouns are she, her. I live in London, Ontario, and I graduated from Western last year with a degree in sociology.
And my name is Nick. My pronouns are he, him. I live in London, Ontario as well. And I am a three-time Western grad. I completed my undergrad in history, my master's degree in American Studies, and my Bachelor of Education at Western. All right, let's share these poll results. Looks like majority of you are from Ontario. 10% of you, though, from the rest of the world, about 25% from Canada, outside of Ontario. So we have a pretty well-represented population here. Welcome again. We're so happy that you're joining us. You're here today because you're thinking about your future. You're about to start your path to your career, your experiences, and your life. And we want to make sure you feel comfortable making this transition and possibly joining the Western family.
So today throughout our webinar, we're going to be going over a few things that you want to think about as we're getting closer to September. To make things easier to follow, we're going to go through things in a chronological order, at least we're going to try our best to. So we're going to start with what might be on your mind right now, and that's offers.
So at this time, some of you might already have an offer to Western and maybe you've even accepted, and that's fantastic. And at the same time, some of you might not have an offer yet, and that's okay too, because there's still thousands of offers that are still going out.
So what should you be doing at this point? First of all, keep working hard, keep doing your best in school. We know that it's challenging out there, but you've definitely got this.
And in addition to working hard, make sure you check your to-do list on the Student Center. To-do lists are generated based on your OUAC application, and it is common for many students applying from Ontario to not have any items on their to-do list since the schools upload your grades and transcripts on your behalf. So if you don't have anything on your to-do list, that's totally okay. For those of you who do have items on your to-do list, we must receive all of the items. And when we do receive an item, it doesn't disappear from the list. It still stays there, but the status changes to show that it's been received. And if everything says received, then you just need to hang in there. We'll review your full application and get back to you.
And there's still lots of time to receive an offer at this point, and we're going to be releasing more offers going into throughout the month and going into May. So once you've received an offer and you're ready to accept it, that's when you're going to need to go back into the OUAC website, which is the same website you used to apply, follow the prompts and make it official. It's important that you make this decision before your offer expires. And your deadline might be different than your friends, so you want to make sure you find that date. It should be on your official Western offer letter. So when you get that offer, you can find it on Choose Western Offer portal or on your student center. So make sure you keep that date in mind because it's very important.
All right, so now that we've talked about receiving and accepting offers, you can start thinking about where you might want to live while you're in school. And you have lots of options. And many students choose to live on campus in a residence building.
Yeah, so residence is a great choice for first years. It's conveniently right on campus, and you'll have a supportive community to lean on and special academic programming and events happening all throughout the year. Some of you might receive an offer to live in residence when you receive your offer of admissions. You can check to see this by logging into choose.uwo.ca. Residence is guaranteed to our first year students as long as you meet our eligibility requirements and our deadlines.
If you have an offer for residence, you'll need to secure your spot, and there are a few steps to this. First, you'll need to take a look at the different residence styles and buildings to decide on your preferences, and we're going to do that together in just a minute. And then you're going to have to log on to myhousing.uwo.ca to submit your lifestyle questionnaire and your prepayment of $900. And the deadline to do this is June 5th.
So the lifestyle questionnaire that we ask you to fill out is what helps us match you with a roommate or a suite mate. If you already have a friend in mind, though, don't worry. You can let us know in the questionnaire and we'll make sure that you are placed together. So now let's take a closer look at some of the styles of residences that you could live in at Western.
We typically have 12 buildings for our first year students in 3 different styles. And the first one that we're going to look at is traditional. These are single and double rooms and everyone shares common bathrooms.
So this residence style is a great fit for those who are looking for a traditional residence experience. There's lots of shared community with shared spaces, and it's also our most budget-friendly option. The traditional buildings on campus are Saugeen Maitland Hall, Medway Sydenham, and Delaware Hall.
All right, the next up is suite style. For Elgin, Essex, and Alumni Hall, there are 4 single rooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, and a living room. London has 3 single rooms, 2 bathrooms, a kitchen, and living room. And Lambton Hall has 2 single rooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen, and living room.
Yeah, so suite style residence is just like living in an apartment with your friends. It's a great fit for students who value privacy because it has all single rooms. It also provides you with a bit more independence if that's what you're looking for. For example, you do have the option to cook some of your own food in a suite style residence.
Definitely. And the third style is hybrid, and it's mostly 2 double rooms that share a semi-private bathroom. It's called hybrid because it's really a mix of the 2 styles. Hybrid doesn't have a kitchen and living room like the suite style, but the bathroom is more private than traditional. You'll likely have a roommate because most of the rooms are doubles in Perth Hall, Bayfield Hall, and Ontario Hall. But in Clare Hall, you'll have a single room and either have a private bathroom to share with one other student. And this residence is only for students identifying as women. Western also has a team dedicated to helping you find off-campus housing. So if you don't meet residence requirements or prefer to live off campus, there are people here to help. If you want to learn more about off-campus housing, you can visit offcampus.uwo.ca for more information.
And as far as cooking goes, it's something that no one has to do in first year, even if you're a suite style and you do have a little kitchenette. Truthfully, it can be difficult for people in first year to find time to get groceries and cook your own food while you're also dealing with the new switch away from home. So most of our residence buildings do have their own dining halls. Alumni, Lambton, and London are the only ones that don't, but they are only steps away from residences with a dining hall, so you're welcome to use any of the dining halls on campus.
With the meal plans, you have lots of delicious options at your disposal. You can eat in any of the residence building dining halls, whichever is closest when you get hungry. You can also eat at on-campus partner restaurants like Subway, Tim Hortons, Starbucks, and Jugo Juice. And if you want to venture off campus, there's lots of restaurants like Jack Astor's, Bearcat, Swiss Chalet, and Domino's that'll take your meal plan.
Yes, and so in the dining halls too, food options include things like fresh salads, sandwiches, made to order food, hot meal options, and they're on a 6-week rotation, so you won't get bored or feel like you're eating the same thing all the time. Furthermore, if you have any dietary needs, we have a nutrition manager that works with our residents' dining halls, and they can meet with you and guide you throughout it.
So if you have any questions about living in residence, you can ask them in the Q&A box now, and someone from Westerns will answer you.
Furthermore, if you want to learn more about residence, you can attend our upcoming residence webinars that are all about living in residence in your first years. The webinars will take place next Wednesday, April 17th and May 23rd. You can sign up at welcome.uwo.ca/presentations.
All right, it is time to move on from residence. And the next thing you might be thinking about as you prepare for Western is finances. So we're going to take a look at the costs for your first year.
So here's a breakdown of the costs for a typical first-year student at Western. First, you see tuition, and this varies depending on if you're from Ontario, if you're a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, and the exact amount will depend on your program. That's why we've listed a range. Then beside, if you have the cost of living away from home. So you need to budget for both living away from home and for tuition when you're looking at overall finances for coming into first year.
For sure. And we've made estimating your own costs super easy. So you can go to your finance calculator on choose.uwo.ca, put in all of your sources of funding, and you'll be able to see your total estimated costs for year one. And we understand that university is a big investment, possibly the biggest you've made up to this point, and that's why we're here to help.
Yeah, so at Western, we have automatic admission scholarships. If your final admissions average is 90% or higher, you are guaranteed a scholarship with no application required. The scholarships include money towards tuition, money towards an optional abroad experience, and you can see if you're currently eligible for one of these automatic admission scholarships on your Choose Western Offer portal, which again is choose.uwo.ca. For the top tier, the Scholarship of Excellence, you'll find out if you're receiving this before you have to accept your offer. But for the other 2 tiers, you'll find out in early September. You'll get an email and then the money will go towards your second tuition installment.
And we also have additional automatic admission scholarships available too. So arts and humanities students could receive an additional $2,500 in first year. Black and Indigenous students could receive up to $26,000 over 4 years. And international students could receive up to $25,000 over 4 years. You can get more details about all things scholarships at welcome.uwo.ca/finances, but that's not all.
Yes, so there's lots of other options to help you with your finances. If you want to work while you're a student, we have over 2,000 work-study positions on campus. You can also apply for bursaries, which are awarded to you based on your financial need, and you can apply for government loans. Really, what we want you to know is that we can help you make university a reality.
At Western, we have $27 million in bursary funding available. And to receive part of this, you'll need to apply for our admission bursary. You can apply even if you don't have an offer or haven't accepted your offer yet, and the deadline is usually at the beginning of July.
And if you're a Canadian citizen or permanent resident student who's coming from outside of Ontario, you will qualify for a government loan. You're guaranteed a $3,000 admissions bursary from Western as well. All you have to do is apply. Furthermore, if you're a first-generation student in your family to attend post-secondary education, be sure to check the first-generation box in the application. If you're starting first year straight from high school and are receiving a government loan, we commit to offering at least $2,000 for first-generation students.
Definitely. So we know that finances are pretty important and you might want to keep talking about them, but there's something else that's also pretty important if you want to be a Western student in the fall, and that's meeting your admission conditions.
Yes, so usually this means keeping your grades up nice and high all the way through till the end of the year. You can find your admissions conditions at choose.uwo.ca after you've received an offer. One of the titles will be called Admission Conditions. Take a look, make sure you click on More, and you read all the details. And if there's anything you don't understand, be sure to ask us. You can send us an email or book an advising appointment.
All right. For now, though, it's time to move on to your next step, which is thinking about courses.
So who's excited to choose your courses?
This is definitely something to get excited for because there are hundreds of courses to choose from for first year. So we're going to do another poll all about courses.
Yeah, so this poll is listing a bunch of the different courses that we offer at Western, and you can choose which one of these sounds the most interesting. Would you be interested in taking Disney Dream Factory, which is a film studies course, data engineering, history of ethics and food, Planet Google, the climate emergency, or beer, the business, social, and cultural history of global beer? All of these courses are great elective options and a great kind of example of the different variety of courses that Western offers for electives.
Yeah, and
See
it's
lots of
totally okay
difference
if
of
you're,
them.
it's totally okay if you can't pick just one. They all sound super interesting. There are no
Absolutely.
wrong answers to this poll.
Let's see what we've got. It looks like a lot of you would be interested in the Disney Dream Factory. I agree. I think that course is pretty cool. It looks like a lot of you are also interested in history and ethics of food. We've got a few people interested in the Planet Google course and in all of those other courses there.
All right, so this is just a sample of some of the courses that you can take at Western. This is such a small number of the courses that are going to be available to you if you become a Western student. You probably already have an idea of the program you want to study when you come to Western, and that's great. But when you're here at Western, you won't be limited to only the courses in your program. We have a flexible degree structure, which means most students get to take several electives, and those can be courses that aren't related to your program at all. They're simply something you're interested in.
Yeah, so when it comes to choosing your courses for first year, you need to be smart about it. You typically register for courses in the summer, but it's a good idea to be prepared before course registration opens. So let's walk you through how to do that.
So first, do some research on the modules that you're interested in. Modules are things like specialization, majors, and minors. Maybe you've heard of these before. If not, no worries. They're just groups of courses in one subject area. When you study at Western, you might complete one module or two or even three. So for example, during my undergraduate degree, I completed an honors specialization in history. All this meant is that I had to take 12 history courses among some other requirements over my 4 years. And then the module that I completed appeared on my degree when I graduated. So when you're in first year, you want to keep some options open because the truth is most students change their mind at least once or twice during their degree, and that's totally okay.
Absolutely. So we encourage you to plan for this by choosing 2 or 3 modules that you're interested in going into first year, then making a list of the first year courses that are required for each of those modules. For example, a psychology module requires you take Psychology 1002, 1003, and a data science course in your first year. So this is 2.5 credits to make that 1 philosophy credit and then a science credit there. So you can find a full list of module and course options at Western's academic calendar. The website for this is westerncalendar.uwo.ca. And then step 2, you want to browse all of the different electives you could take in your first year and choose some that interest you. Electives are courses outside of your module that allow you to try something new and exciting. And it's a good idea to have these picked out when you're making your timetable because some will fit better than others.
All right, once you've done your research, you've got a list of courses that you're interested in, it is time to enroll. And so make sure that you enroll in all of the required courses first, then add in the electives. And if you want to have a full course load, that'll be 5 credits. So that could be 5 full-year courses, 10 half-year courses, or a combination of both. When it's time to start enrolling in courses, we'll send you an email. Don't worry, it's not like you're just all of a sudden going to miss this. We'll make sure that you're well informed ahead of time, and this will happen sometime in June.
And when you're looking at it, your timetable might look something like this.
So this is just an example of a social science student's timetable. It's probably not just a little, but a lot different from what you did in high school. Every day could actually look different. You might have some early morning classes, some evening classes. You might have some longer days with several classes, and maybe you're lucky and have a day or two with only one class.
So some programs like nursing, music, and engineering are a bit more structured than this, and their timetables will actually look more similar to each other. On the screen now is an example of an engineering student's timetable. All engineering students take the same courses in first year, although they may be split up into different sections or in different rooms at different times.
So while choosing and enrolling in courses is super exciting, all this information can be a bit overwhelming. We encourage you to use your Choose portal as it is the best place to start when learning more about how course registration works. You'll get access to the Choose portal after you have an offer, and the link and instructions can be found on your offer letter, which you will find in the Student Center.
And in addition to using your Choose portal to help you navigate course registration, Western runs a program called Western Launch over the summer to help get you ready for school. Western Launch has one-on-one course advising that's part of the programming, and it's aimed to make you feel confident in your course selection. These appointments are held virtually over Zoom, and they run from June to August. Signups will open in early June, and we'll send you an email. As part of Western Launch, you'll also have the opportunity to meet the Western community over the summer through a bunch of optional faculty orientation days, or even staying overnight in residence if that's something that interests you. There's a variety of options to get involved in, and you can find all of these options at launch.uwo.ca. And I definitely encourage you to take a look at this. There's some super helpful programming. We're here to help and support you both socially and academically and help you prepare for your university transition.
Definitely. And there we have it. Courses are now complete. When you get to this point in your journey, it'll be the summer. Everyone, I'm sure, is looking forward to that. And that means you might be getting ready to travel to London and move in. Lots of you shared, the majority of you shared actually, that you weren't from London at the start of the presentation. So we're going to show you around.
Yeah, so in this video here, I'll just talk briefly a bit about London as we watch. So London's population is over 420,000 and it's growing every day. It's a great city for university students, and they actually make up 10% of the population here in London. Local businesses, restaurants, and grocery stores all cater to university students by offering discounts, and they help make it affordable for you to get in and out and enjoy London. If you like nature, and who doesn't love some green spaces, London is actually named the Forest City for a good reason. There are 200 parks in London, and there's a ton of beautiful trails all around campus. Our downtown is also vibrant.
Yeah, definitely. So the downtown filled with tons of shops and restaurants. It's always buzzing with excitement. There's always lots going on. And in fact, London is an international hub for music and culture, and it was the first city in Canada to be named a UNESCO City of Music. As a student, you'll have no problem getting around with the bus pass that's included with your tuition and London's easy-to-use transit system.
Yeah, and so when it's time to get to London, you have several options. If you're driving, London's about 2 hours west of Toronto and 2 hours east of the Windsor-Detroit border, so it's right in the middle of those two places. You could also hop on a bus or a train to get here. Both the Via Rail and the Megabus come directly to London. If you're coming from further away, you might want to consider flying. You can fly directly into London's International Airport, or you can fly to Toronto and take the Robert Q van, bus, or train to London.
So some of you are probably wondering, when am I going to move in? You're probably really excited to begin this journey. Residences usually have move-in dates around the Labor Day long weekend in September. Your date will depend on which building you're moving into, but you'll get those details over the summer.
Yeah, so that's also when Residence is going to send you a packing list. But if you want to see it now, it's on their website, and this is an example on the screen that'll help you get started. The key to packing for Residence is to make sure that you have all the essentials and that you don't bring too much extra, because you will collect stuff over the year and your room will get full. So only bring those essentials during that first move-in period.
But if you get here and you realize that you are missing something, there's lots of options for you to get it once you arrive. Maybe try out that bus pass, head to one of London's malls, see what you can find. And moving in is a super exciting time because it's also the beginning of orientation week.
Absolutely. So orientation week, or as we like to call it here at Western, O Week, is always something for everyone to participate in. There's activities to help you make friends, activities to find your way around campus, and to make memories. There's nothing you have to do to prepare for O Week, but we wanted to include this in our next step presentation because it's really the official start of the year, and it's a great week for everyone to get involved in campus and make those first year friends.
Definitely. Even all these years later, I still remember my O Week and how instrumental it was in making me feel welcome to Western. If you're an international student, there's also an international orientation before O Week where you can get settled in and learn a little bit more about Canadian culture. So that's it. That's really all that we wanted to share with you today. These are just some of the things that you might be thinking about as you start your Western journey.
And if you want a checklist, you can take a screenshot of this slide now. But again, all of this information is on choose.uwo.ca.
So to recap, before starting at Western, you'll want to check your offer on the Student Center, figure out where you want to live, figure out your finances, which might include applying to bursaries, government assistance, and some scholarships, accept your offer and meet your admission conditions, register for courses, and then travel to London and move in.
Yeah, and so for anyone who's feeling excited, maybe you're feeling a little bit anxious or nervous, all of these feelings are natural and you're not the only one feeling that. When you get here, we really want you to know that you will thrive and we're here to help you thrive. So when you come to campus, you're going to connect with new people and you're going to remain connected long after you leave campus. I still have lots of my friends that I met in first year and more that I met throughout the fourth year, and we still talk all the time. So it's a very exciting transition.
Definitely. And you're going to have experiences that are going to shape your future, both academically, personally, socially. They're going to be challenging. I'm not going to lie about that. There are going to be some times that are challenge and stress you out, but they're going to push you to personal growth, and you're going to become a more confident and curious person when you come to Western.
Absolutely. And you're going to be welcomed by a supportive community who can't wait to meet you. These mentors and leaders and friends will all be there for you throughout your journey at Western.
And Jill and I are here for you too, and so are all of our friends who are here from us today from Western. They've been frantically trying to get all of your questions in the Q&A box answered, and we're going to answer some of them live at the end of this presentation.
Yeah, so in the meantime, feel free, you might want to take a screenshot of these important websites and upcoming events so that we can help you out further on this journey. And if you're feeling like you've got all the information you need, thank you for joining us. Good luck on your journey. If you do want to stick around, Nick and I are now going to answer some questions live. So I've got the first question here for Nick. How do I choose which residence I want to live in?
Oh, great question. So when you fill out your lifestyle questionnaire, which is due beginning of June, you also have to rank the residences by how you like which ones you think would be the most desirable to live in, all the way down to your least favorite. Once you've done those, your choices go into a lottery, and then it's kind of random from there. And then the lottery happens, you'll get notified about which residence you're moving into, and you'll come in September and move into your new home. So the next
Absolutely.
question that I have for Jill is, how can I visit the campus in the summertime?
Yeah, so we've actually just launched lots of campus tours for the summer. So you can log on to our campus tour website, look at the calendar, see when you might be available, and you can come see Western during its most beautiful time of the year in the summer. You might also get a chance to visit residents during this time. And if you don't have a chance, we have lots of virtual tours online too, that you can see the entire campus, see inside faculty buildings, and see inside residences. Okay, next question up for Nick. What's one thing that people always forget to bring when they move into residence?
So that's a really good question, because I was probably one of many people who seemed to forget most of the important things when I moved into residence, but the biggest one would probably be a power bar. You'll move into your room and you'll see, oh, there's 2 outlets. Cool. What do I plug all of my things in? And then you'll quickly realize how many things you have that need to be plugged in. So I would definitely say bring a power bar. It will save your life. The next question that I've got here for Jill is that how should I take notes? Do I use paper? Do I use my laptop? Combination? What's the best way?
Yeah, great question. So this is different for everybody. It all depends what you're used to, what you're good at, what you feel confident using. If you're someone who likes to type notes, if you're faster doing that, go for it. If you prefer to write your notes because it helps you remember things better, go for that as well. If you're someone who maybe wants a combination of writing and technology, maybe an iPad's for you with the iPad pen. End of the story, kind of go into your first month, test it all out, see what works best for you, and then go from there. Okay, last question we're going to be answering live here I've got for Nick. So this student wants to take psychology, but their offers for the Faculty of Social Science. Is this a common first year, or can I still study psychology? How does this work?
This might be one of the most asked questions that we get here. The way that the majority of Western programs work, you apply to the faculty and then you start in a common first year where you get to take courses that you're interested in, try a few things out. Maybe you came from high school, and we'll use this example, thinking that, oh, I really want to study psychology, but you take a political science course or a history course and you realize, hey, I'm actually really interested in that. Maybe I want to focus on that instead. You can totally still study psychology. And like we talked about with picking your courses, you can make sure you're taking all the prerequisites to move on to pursue a degree in psychology in your second year. But the majority of programs at Western have that common first year where you're just going to take a bunch of different courses from different faculties and really have the freedom to decide what it is that you want to study during your first year.
Yeah, okay, so that's all the questions that we're going to answer live for now. I see lots of you still have questions going in the Q&A. So we'll stay on the webinar. Our colleagues and us will try and answer all of those questions for you. But that's all for today. So thank you all for joining us. This has been a great webinar. We hope that you're all excited about your journey coming up. And like we've said previously, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Yes, thank you all so much. This means a lot to us that you took time out of your night to come and hang out with us and let us talk about all things Western. We hope to see as many of you as we can in the fall, and have a great rest of your night and good luck with everything else the rest of your school year.